So, I mean, Frank, all in all, how would you describe boxing's bill of health as we come to the end of 2023?
I love it. I mean, I think it's been good. I think, I mean, I've had a couple of off-the-record conversations with different people regarding the discussion I had with one of your correspondents in Adam, and I just strongly disagreed with what he was saying, and I think we're ending the year in a real high with some great fights on opening up next year. I mean, this is what it's all about, and the stars have now aligned, and we're in a position to make these happen for the fans and also for us. I mean, I'm a fan too. I want to see big fights and great fights.
Well, we all do, Simon, don't we? I mean, I think that's what the whole thing hinged on, Frank, when you went head-to-head with Adam Catterall, who, of course, we love unconditionally here at TalkSPORT, not just for his knowledge, but his on-air ability as well. I mean, at the end of the day, Frank, I look back on that. I saw it on social media. I mean, you didn't hang back. You were keen to ambush Adam and give it both barrels.
That's not true. I didn't ambush him. I said to him earlier in the evening, I want to have a chat with you before you go. And what happened, it was the end of the evening, and I was doing an interview on IFL about the show, and he was going up. I said, hang on a minute. I want to have I shouted across, I want to speak to you. And he went to walk off, and I think somebody said, come on, and come over and do the interview. I didn't ambush him at all. And, it's all very well, if you're a pundit and you want to criticise, but you're not immune to being accepting criticism back if you're in the wrong. What we got to just accept what you're saying because you unconditionally love him. It's not right.
No, but there's a balance, Frank. There's a balance. You're absolutely right. If people voice an opinion, they're entitled to have an opinion back. But the difference with you being the exception, the notable exception, if somebody bites back, which is fair, and then a pundit comes back in, what will happen is the pundit will be blackballed. He'll be not able to speak to those people again. He'll not have the dialogue, and he'll be shut down. And that's what's been the case.
I'm not shutting anyone
down.
No,
but I specifically said you're the exception, Frank.
So how other people deal with it, that's up to them how they want to deal with it.
You're battling the cause on behalf of someone else, Frank. The argument that you have with that, yes, you are. You're advancing the position that Tyson Fury and the observations that have been made about him have been unfair, and you're also taking exception to the observations that Adam Catterall made, and specifically about the idea that he used the terminology warm lager, and you took exception to it. And you also know, Frank, you're in a position where you can say precisely what you want because the only person you're accountable to is yourself, and Adam is going to sit there and go, if I go at Queensbury now, and if I go at Tyson Fury, it's going to make the situation worse.
Yeah.
So you disarmed
Why
him.
Is it? Oh, no, it's not. That's non. I'd say that is such a cop-out by you.
How is
How
it?
can you even come out with that? Well, first of all, so we got to just accept what you say and your pundit says.
No, not at all.
And we're not allowed to respond to it.
Not at all.
Well, and when have I ever blackballed anybody?
No, but again, Frank, again, I know you can hear me. We're just choosing not to.
Again, I'll just tell you something. I've been only asked 10 minutes ago to go on the show on Saturday with Adam. I said, not a problem. I said, I might be able to get down the studio. I'll do it. I haven't got a problem with it.
But we're not talking about you, Frank. And we know, because I said at the very top of this conversation that we're talking about the people.
Well, it's not quite right. It is about me as well, because I am Tyson's promoter.
Yes.
So what has been said by Adam, what I take exception to as his promoter. And I've had this argument with him, and I don't know if you heard an argument with him a few months ago it was Saturday night, and he was banging on about Tyson ducking out of fights. That's basically what he was saying. And what I said to him, that is untrue. You've taken a view, or you've agreed with something that's been said by Usyk's manager, which is absolutely untrue, which I think you accept now. Was untrue what he was saying. We never had any offers or anything. And bore everybody quickly, what it was about was that December last year, Tyson was going to fight Usyk. We signed for it with Skills Challenge. Usyk was injured. They were going to then put it on in February.
Oh, he's got into a tunnel just while I was in the middle of that story. You still with us, Frank? We'll get Frank back in a second. He's still going to push back in this, isn't he?
Well, he is. And the problem with the debate is he's right to some extent, because it is incumbent upon Adam. And I would say, he says, it's a cop-out. The problem for Adam Catterall, and it should be a problem for me, but we're cut from different cloths and I have a different relationship and a different worry about what's going to happen to me in the media, is if he goes and tells Queensbury precisely what he thinks and doubles down on it. Are you back, Frank?
I'm here.
So we were talking then, Frank, when you dropped out, about the reality of your opinion and the different circumstances that have evolved, and no one can understand, and you defend this, and you're a balanced voice most of the time. You went after Adam because Adam made an observation, and then you redirect and say, well, hang on a second, how dare you call it warm lager? It's a load of old whatevers, right? But Adam's opinion was based upon an event that happened a year ago. A year ago, when Derek Chisora fought Tyson Fury, most people considered it, besides the fact you were able to sell ice to Eskimos and people went and watched that fight at Tottenham, most people thought that was a poor fight. And so when Adam says a year ago you fight Derek Chisora, that's warm lager, I think that's a fair comment. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, let's go. What I was saying before I went, I'll finish it quickly, and it'll answer your question. So what I said is he was going to fight in December, Usyk. Usyk was injured, he was out. Then we had 6 or 7 weeks to find somebody at short notice. The highest available, whether you want to agree with it or not, was Chisora. Then they were going to put the fight on in February. They didn't do it, skills challenge. Then April didn't do it. He then became free at Usyk. We agreed to do the fight in April in the UK. He then went back to skills challenge, out of contract, and we've now signed that fight. That's what happened. What I get annoyed about is, and this is what it's been like all the way from Tyson, you've got to take it back to the fight before, when he was going to fight Dillian Whyte. Because when he was fighting Dillian Whyte, yourself and Adam were big on Dillian Whyte. He's the number one. He's been there for ages. He should be getting far much more money than he's getting. This is wrong. He's worth more money than that. And Tyson absolutely destroyed him.
Indeed, he did.
Destroyed him.
Yeah,
he did. So,
and he was the mandatory. And he was the mandatory.
And he was the mandatory. So he did it. But still, Tyson shouldn't be getting what he's getting on the purse bid. By the way, it's a purse bid that I won the bid. He should be getting more money.
Frank, the thing is, nobody should really be falling out, and I think the good indication.
No one's. Jim,
hang on.
Jim, you're a lovely bloke. You're a lovely bloke. I ain't falling out with nobody. I'm just telling you how
if you let me finish, I was just about to say the signs were good this lunchtime, though, Frank, that Spencer Brown was going to come on and join us. I had a long chat with him last night, and by and large, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, which is good news. And Frank, Simon and I know you. Spencer certainly does hear Spencer Oliver, and a lot of it is tongue in cheek, because I think a lot of people in the boxing fraternity pretend at the moment to be offended, but you're not really, because you enjoy the discussion and you enjoy the chat that goes with it.
I'm not a crybaby.
You're not, Frank. And I know a lot of this is tongue in cheek, because I said to you earlier on, did you ambush Adam Catterall the other night? And you said, no, I didn't ambush Adam. And yet you finished your text message to me the other night. Listen, I'll gladly come on and debate with any of you guys anytime. Regards, the ambusher.
Correct. And what I took exception to.
That was funny, wasn't it? The ambusher. That's you.
Yeah, the ambusher, of course. But
I love it.
The warm lager, what I refer to, was the best we could do, because Tyson couldn't fight, although the fights were offered to Joyce.
It was the best you could do, yeah.
We could. So what we made the number one Joyce against Parker, great fight. Mm-hmm. We made the number 1 and 2 against Zhang and Joyce, great fights. We made the Dubois went and fought against Usyk, great fights. And by the way, all this warm lager was served up on TalkSPORT, because you bought them all.
Yes, but with respect, Frank, you know that the genesis of all of this sort of rancor is because there's been an irritation level amongst you and Tyson Fury, that there's been unfair, biased, misrepresentative and disrespectful criticism. And that's where the irritation comes through. And no one can point their finger to it. All you guys do is get upset. You'll debate it, Frank. You'll debate it. But the people that are stopping you...
I've just debated that warm lager you referred to. I just said it.
Yeah, but we're not talking. We're not talking about Joseph Parker.
You've also said warm lager brackets the best that you could do.
Who has Tyson Fury ducked? Tell me.
But Frank, stop mischaracterising the debate, right? Because this argument about ducking is a mischaracterisation. One of the people that was accused of accusing Tyson of ducking was me, and the only time that issue was ever raised was when Usyk's manager came on and accused him of it, and it was framed in a question which was if he's ducked, not he has ducked, and it's been elevated because people have got their knickers in a twist because they're choosing to, and I wonder if it's because people didn't like the criticism in the Western media about the Ngannou fight, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, they start whining about something that was said 6 months earlier.
Well, the Ngannou fight, I mean, you absolutely slaughtered it, which you're entitled to do. It's your opinion. You all slaughtered it. But what you didn't say afterwards, you know what? That was
You're not answering the question, Frank. You're not answering the question. Don't redirect.
Ask me the question.
The question is that nobody had this concerted campaign of criticising Tyson Fury during a 6-month period that led up to the Ngannou fight. There was a question asked on the back of information given by the alternate camp, which has proven to be discredited, but at the time it wasn't, which is if Fury is ducking this fight, given all the noise that comes out of Tyson's mouth. And Tyson is the most vociferous of all the fighters. People are going to question it, and you and others have got cross about it.
And Frank, I would like to think that if Tyson is listening this lunchtime, if Tyson's listening this lunchtime, Simon has just nailed the truth of this.
Henry Kissinger. Hey, listen, Henry Kissinger. Sit tight a minute. Let me just tell you something.
He's no diplomat.
Henry's in a better state of health than me.
Let me tell you, what you're saying is not true, because I remember he was on there. We was talking about Josh. There was a big debate going on about Joshua, and he was being saying Tyson ducked him, and something. You know, he was ready to go, and we all knew he weren't, because. And it was accepted he weren't when Frank Smith came out and said he didn't even have a trainer. But even after that conversation was going on. And I rang in while that was going on. It was yourself, Eddie Hearn, all of you, and you didn't let me on. So you were selective in who you wanted to believe at that time.
No, that's not true, Frank. That's not true, Frank.
Well, I did.
That's not true. You did ring in, and I said, hang on, Frank. Yes, you did ring in, and I said it's not fair, and Eddie didn't want you to come on because he didn't want you to hijack the conversation, and it would have been great radio, and it would turn into a bun fight, Frank. But nobody did what you said. Nobody did what you just said, Frank.
No.
That's not true.
Frank, you were just living up to your nickname of the Ambusher.
Listen, it's not hijacking the conversation. It's saying that what you're saying is untrue.
I agree, Frank.
These are the facts.
But Eddie Hearn, as the guest in the studio, didn't really want it.
Frank, I think to be honest, looking at this now realistically and logically, I think we can get through this and we can all be pals again. We know you're pals with us, and that's fine. I think Simon's right. No, I don't side with Simon just because I have to, but in this there has been a mischaracterization of what was said. Of that there is no doubt. This was a man, your man Tyson Fury was hugging us both in a Wembley dressing room not that long ago, and I'm sure we're not far off that again, especially when you get a sign like Spencer Brown was willing to come on this lunchtime, but COVID has stopped him coming on.
He has done everything, Tyson, that's been asked of him. He's been ready to fight everybody who's been available and wants to fight him. Good. Every time. He's never ducked anyone.
Okay.
That's what he does.
Well, we look forward to making that clear.
Let me make this final point. And when the opportunity finally arrived, when Usyk had nowhere to go after the skills challenge thing fell apart, the fight was made, and it's on the 17th of December. That's Tyson Fury. Doesn't duck anybody.
Well, that's good to know. And we're fans of Tyson because he's one of the greatest boxers of all time. And the man to my right has told him just that. So, I think Tyson needs to remember that, and I hope he will. So much so, Frank, next time there's a boxing press conference ahead of Fury Usyk in February,
don't boot him out.
It'd be good if TalkSPORT is not booted out of it.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see what happens, because if I have anything to do with it and I'm in amongst it next time around, I won't be going. I won't be leaving. I'll be staying in the press conference because we deserve deserve to be there.